Yes, you are welcome to another lesson. Today we have science. Science for basic 3. So if you are in basic 3 or if you are in class 3, this lesson is for you. My name is Paul Williams of Virginia. Paul Williams of Virginia. So today what are you looking at? We are looking at strand 4. Strand 4, forces and what? Energy. Forces and energy. So under strand 4, we have substrand 1, that is sources and forms of energy. Sources and forms of energy. Let's look at the indicator. Indicator. Note heat as a source of energy and identify some sources of heat. Know heat as a source of energy and identify some sources of what? Heat. So today's lesson is about heat. We are going to identify sources of what? Heat. And we are also going to know that heat is what? A source of what? Energy. So heat as a source of energy and where we can get what? Heat, or sources of what? Heat. So today's lesson, we have the topic here, heat as a source of energy. Heat as a source of what? Energy. In our previous lesson, we learned about light as a source of what? Energy. Here, or this lesson, we are looking at heat as a source of energy. Okay. Now, these are some of the key words that we are going to see in the lesson or in the textbook. So we have the first one, source. All of you, source. Source is where something comes from or where we get something. Where something comes from or where you get something is what? Source. Energy. All of you, energy. Again, energy. What is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. So you can work or you can perform a task if you have energy. If you don't have energy, you can't perform a task. Like the way I'm teaching. I've eaten, so I have energy. Because of that, I am working. So energy is what? Ability to do what? Work. The next one is what? Heat. All of you, heat. Again, heat. Okay, so heat is also something that we get from hot objects or hot substances. So if you go closer to fire, you feel heat. You get it? Okay, so the next word is what? Transfer. 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 All of you, transfer. To transfer means that to move something from one place to another what? Place. So if I'm standing here and I move to this place, we can describe it as what? Transfer. Meaning you move from one point to what? Another point. To transfer means that you move from one point to what? Another point. One place to another place. The next word is what? Generate. All of you, generate. Again, generate. The last one, generate. So to generate means to produce something. To generate means what? To produce something. Okay, so these are the words that we are going to see in our lesson. I told you that today's lesson is about what? Heat. It's about heat. Now, let's continue. Heat is a form of what? Energy that is used to perform different activities in our schools, homes, workplaces, markets, and other places. Heat is a form of energy that is transferred from one object to another. Heat moves from hot objects to cold objects. For example, when cooking rice, the utensil is put on fire. Heat from the fire is transferred to make the utensil hot. This heat is also transferred to the water to make it boil. The rice is also cooked by the heat from the water. So we are talking about heat. Let me go back and show you something. So anytime we are cooking, for example, you have your, let's take this as our coal pot. You have your charcoals inside. Your charcoals. Then you set your fire. So you see this side will be the fire. Have you seen it? So this will be your charcoal and then it's producing what? Fire. Very good. So you feel the heat if you put your hand, or if you just go closer, you will feel the heat from where? From the fire. Very good. Now you are preparing your food. Let's see how heat works. You are preparing your food. Which color should I pick? Okay. So you put your utensil. This is your utensil. So you pour water in it. Because of the fire, the heat from the fire, the heat will just what? Make the utensil, this thing, the utensil will make it very hot. And the heat will transfer from the utensil to the water. So the water too, at the beginning, you can put your hand inside the cooking utensil, you not feel any hotness from the water. But after some time, because of the heat coming from the fire, it will what? Transfer to what? The cooking utensil. And then the heat will also, the heat in the cooking utensil will also be transferred to what? To the fire. So you get to a point that the water will become hot. And then as the heat increases, the water too will become what? Too hot, and it will what? Start what? Boiling. So if you have your rice here, this is your cup of rice. So let's say you have your cup of rice, you pour them inside and you cover it. You cover your this thing, your cooking utensil. The heat will what? Start making the rice what? It will start cooking the what? The rice. It will start boiling, and then the rice will become cooked. After some time, you see that the rice will become so soft because of what? The heat. Even when you remove the lid, you see vapor coming out. The vapor that is coming out start from here. The heat from the charcoal will travel to where? The utensil, and then from the utensil to the water, and from the water to what? The rice. Do you get it? So heat is what? Transferred from here, move from this side. I explained to you what the meaning of transfer is, to move from one place to another. So heat transfer from this side to this side, then from the utensil to what? The fire, from the utensil to what? The water, from the water to what? To the rice. Do you get it? Very good. So heat is a transfer of energy. Transfer of energy. And anytime heat is traveling or travels, it travels from hot point to cold point. So for example, this side is very hot. When you put the utensil on it, you see that at the beginning you can hold the utensil because it is hot. So heat will transfer from where there is what? Hotness, and then go to where there is no hotness, the place that is very cool. So heat always transfer from where? Hot places to cold places. There is no way heat will transfer from cold to hot. Always heat is from where? Hot points, and it moves to points that is not hot. So the difference in terms of temperature of something will determine where the heat will transfer from. So if there is fire here, let's say this is cutlass. If there is fire here, this side will become very hot, and the heat in this side will travel to the other side. So at the beginning, if the fire is here, you have your cutlass here. This is your cutlass. This is the handle. If there is fire here you can't touch, but at the beginning you can even hold this side. But if you still leave this in the fire for some time, this side will become so hot that you cannot touch it again, because the heat here has been transferred, has been moved to this side. So heat travels, heat transfer from one point to another, and it always goes from where? Hot places to what? Cold places. Let's go back. Now, so heat is a transfer of energy between two places or objects due to their differences in temperature. due to their differences in temperature. So before heat can travel from one point to another, it means the temperature between the two places are different. They are not the same. They are not the same. And it always moves from hot point to what? Cold point. Very good. Now, let's look at these processes that can generate what? Heat. Processes that can generate heat. So, what are some of the things that can generate what? Heat. That is what we are going to look at. The first one, rubbing your palms together vigorously for a while generates what? Heat. I want us to do this thing together. So whatever that you are holding, put it down. Look at this. So put your hands together. Then start rubbing your palms. Do it vigorously. Let's go fast. Do it. Go. Do it. Then touch your chins and tell how you feel. So you see that even when you are rubbing your palms become so hot, and when you touch your chins too, you felt what? You felt it. So we are able to generate what? Heat when we rub our hands together like that. Okay, so touch your cheeks with your palms and record how you feel. Rub your palms vigorously and touch your cheeks again. Compare it with what? The first touch and describe how you feel. So as we did, beginning, you touch your chins, you will not feel anything. After rubbing your hands, immediately you touch your chins again, you feel that yes, there is what? Heat over there. Now the next one, how to generate what? Heat. The next one is what? Lighting of what? Fire. Lighting of fire. Know the difference. Let me show you something here. There is a difference between lightning and then lighting. Check. This is N-I. This is N-I-N-G. There is no N here. Have you seen this? So we see this when it is raining. We see this when it is raining. This goes with thunder. Yes, it's a natural source of what? Light. But this one, so you light candle, you light something, so you are lighting fire, you are lighting what? Candle. So this is different from this. Check the spellings. I just wanted to draw your attention to it, that lightning is different from lighting. Do you get it? This one, human beings, we do it, but this is a natural source of light. Okay. So let's move on. Lighting of what? Fire. So these are firewood. If you want light from it, you just have to what? Set fire. You have to what? You have to lighten it. So when firewood is burning, it generates what? Heat. Like this. This is firewood, and it is what? Burning. So if you go closer, you feel the heat. So this is another way of what? Producing or generating what? Heat. We are looking at how to generate heat. One is you rub your palms together, you feel heat, and when you what? You set fire like this, or you burn firewood, you also what? Generate heat. Now let's come to this side. Lighting a stove. Lighting a stove. So look at this. You see, the person here is using what? Matches. Look, he's turning the stove on, and then you see the fire coming. So the fire will what? Produce heat, will generate what? Heat. So lighting a stove. When a stove is lighted to be used for cooking, it generates what? Or it produces what? Heat. So those who use stove in the house, anytime you go closer, when there is fire, anytime you go closer, you feel what? You feel the heat. So that is another way of generating heat. Now let's come here. This thing, yes, you've seen it before. So let's look at how it is used to what? Generate heat. When a lantern is turned on for a long time, it produces what? Heat. So when this thing is turned on for a long time, when you touch this, the shade, we call this, I remember we used to call it shade. So this thing, like the bulb, when you touch it, you see that it's what? Becomes what? Very hot. So it produces what? Heat when it is turned on for a long time. Let's come to this side. Burning of charcoal produces what? Heat. So those of you who use charcoal to prepare food, yes, we all know that it generates or produces what? Heat. Okay, let's continue. This thing too is common. Charging a mobile phone. So if you leave your mobile phone on charge for a very long time, when you touch it, you see that it is what? It becomes what? Very hot. So when you touch a mobile phone after charging it for a long time, it feels what? Hot. It feels what? Hot. So this is a mobile phone on charge. Look at the percentage, 32%. So after some time, it will get to 100. When you touch it, you see that it will not feel cold, but rather it will feel hot. So this is another way of generating what? Heat. The next one is what? Laptop. So just as phone is, the same thing applies to laptop. If you charge it for a long time, you feel that it's producing what? Heat. Okay. The next one is what? Leaving electric bulbs on for a long time can produce what? Heat. So if you leave your light on, your bulb on for a very long time and you touch it, you feel that yes, there is heat in it. So when you leave our bulbs on, it will definitely what? Produce what? Or generate heat for us. So we have looked at 8 things. 8 ways by which heat can be what? Generated. 8 ways by which heat can be generated. We've seen electric bulb, laptop, mobile phone, charcoal, lantern, stove, firewood, and our palms. So these are what? Processes that we can generate what? Heat. So if you are asked to give processes by which heat can be generated, I expect you to give 8 of them. The first one is this, rubbing your palms. The next one, yes, firewood. We have what? Stove here. We have lantern, charcoal. So mobile phone, laptops, bulbs, all these are what? Ways by which heat can be what? Generated. Okay. Now we are going to look at sources of heat. Sources of heat means where heat can what? Be obtained, where we can get heat, where heat comes from, or where we can what? Get heat. That is sources of what? Heat. Very good. Okay, so heat energy comes from different places. The places where we get heat energy to do our daily work are the sources of what? Heat energy. These are some sources of what? Heat energy. So heat energy comes from different places, and where we get them are the sources of what? Heat energy. So where do we get heat energy? Where? If you want heat energy, where will you go? How do you get it? We are going to look at it. Now, sources of heat energy. Number 1, the sun. The sun produces what? Heat. The sun produces what? Heat. And we use that heat to do so many things. So this is the sun. It's not only light that it produces, it also produces what? Heat. Okay. And we use it for so many things. The sun is a primary source of what? Heat to the earth. All living things depend on the sun for heat. So all living things, be it human, animal, or plants, if we need what? Heat, we depend on the sun for heat. Okay, so 1 is what? The sun. 2, a lighted stove is a source of what? Heat energy. So if you light your stove, after some time you see that it will be producing what? Heat. And that heat is used to cook food and other things. So to get heat energy, when you light your stove, you get what? Heat energy. So when a light stove is lighted, it gives off heat that is used for cooking. So heat energy can be what? Obtained from where? Lighted what? Stove. Lighted stove. So this one, you see, It is the heat energy from the fire or the cooking what? The stove that is being used by what? By people to cook their own food. So that is that. The next one is this. Look at the picture and tell me what the picture is. Yes, I can see charcoal here. The charcoal is what? Burning. Okay. Let's look at it. Lighted charcoal is a source of what? Heat energy. Lighted charcoal is a source of what? Heat energy. Sorry. Okay, so lighted charcoal is a source of what? Heat energy used for cooking. So when you light our charcoal, we use the heat energy from it to cook. So that is another source of what? Heat. Some electrical appliances are a source of what? Heat energy. Some electrical appliances are also what? Sources of what? Heat energy. Okay, so electrical appliances like the iron, kettle, and microwave are sources of what? Heat energy used for ironing clothes, heating water, and food. So look at these ones. This is what? Iron. Electric iron. We use it to iron our dress. So we are able to do that because of the heat that it produces. If you look at this is kettle. So in the morning, if you want to prepare a beverage, like something like a tea meal, you need what? Kettle to heat the water. So the kettle is able to make the water hot because of what? Heat. So this is another source of heat. Look at this is microphone. If you have not seen this is microwave. This is microwave. If you have not seen microwave before, this is how it looks like. In fact, it's very good if you want to heat your food. Let's say you feel like warming up your food, you just put it inside, you turn it on. After some few minutes, it will be ready for you to enjoy your food. So this also what is a source of what? Heat energy. Okay, now we have seen how heat can be generated, and we have also seen where we can get heat energy. Okay, we are bringing our lesson to a close, but I want us to read something here. Heat is a form of energy that is transferred from one place to another because of temperature differences between the two places. So anytime heat travels, it travels because the temperature at the other side or at the other end that it is going to is always lower than the temperature of the source of that heat. So let's say your fire is here and heat is able to go here. It's because the temperature over here is lower and the temperature over here, because of the fire, it is higher. That is why it's able to move. So heat travels. Heat travels because of differences in temperature. If here is hot and here is hot, let's say the percentage, the Celsius, and then the one over here, the temperature and the temperature here are the same. There is no way heat will travel to the other side. But if the temperature here is higher than the temperature here, the heat will travel or transfer from this side to the other side. The sun, lighted stove, lighted charcoal, and electrical appliances are what? Some sources of heat. So we have seen some sources of heat. We have seen how heat is generated. We have seen what heat is. I'm saying it's a form of energy, and it travels from one point to another point. Very good. So to this is what we have learned so far. We have exercises here. Exercise 1, we have exercise 2, exercise 3, exercise 4, home assignment 1, home assignment 2. So take your book, take your time, read what I have explained to you. Take your time and read. If you don't understand anything, go to the comment section, leave your questions there, and at the right time, I'll look at the questions and then give you answers. Okay, so but remember to do the exercises. We have 4 exercises and then 2 home assignments. So let's look at this one. Identify 4 sources of heat at home. So in the house, you should be able to tell where you can get what heat, sources of heat in the house. Okay, the next one, 2. Draw 2 objects that produce what? Heat. So wherever you are, if you are in the classroom right now, if you are in your mother's office, if you are in your father's office, if you are in the house, in your room, look around and identify 2 sources of what? Heat. Just draw them. So if you can see bulb there, draw it. If you can see lighted stove, draw it. If you can see the sun, draw it. So the question is, draw 2 objects that produces what? Heat. Okay, so that is that. My name is Paul Williams of Virginia. You can share the link with your colleagues, your friends, your loved ones. You can recommend this platform to people, other people to also to watch. This is an educational platform, and we are doing this so that children will have opportunity to learn wherever they find themselves. Thank you.